The internet froze the moment the clip dropped. Phones buzzed, group chats exploded, and fans leaned closer to their screens as whispers turned into digital screams. Was that really what it looked like? A shadowy video, shaky audio, flashing lights, and a familiar voice caught in the middle of chaos. Within minutes, timelines were flooded with one burning question: had Mena's bold new chapter just crashed and burned in the most public way possible? Just days earlier, Erica stood tall, chin lifted, eyes blazing with defiance, proudly revealing her new man to the world. After years of tears, toxic arguments, and a headline-making divorce, she declared herself healed, unbothered, and finally free. Fans watched as she smiled harder than ever, posting cryptic captions about choosing peace and never going backwards. The message was loud and clear: Safaree was the past, and regret had no place in her future. Or so she wanted everyone to believe. But then came the footage. A grainy video surfaced online late one night, allegedly showing Erica's new boyfriend in a tense confrontation with law enforcement. Sirens, raised voices, a moment where everything seemed to spiral out of control. The internet did what it does best, filling in the blanks faster than facts could keep up. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and suddenly, that confident reveal didn't look so empowering anymore. It looked like the beginning of a nightmare. As the clip spread like wildfire, old wounds reopened. Comment sections became battlegrounds, with fans dragging up Erica's past with Safaree, replaying every explosive argument, every tear-filled reunion, every vow to be done for good. Some asked if she'd moved on too fast. Others wondered if she'd ignored red flags just to prove a point. And then came the most dangerous question of all: did Mena make the biggest mistake of her life walking away from her marriage? Behind closed doors, sources claim emotions were spiraling. Regret allegedly crept in during the quiet moments, when the cameras were off and the noise of the internet faded. Friends whispered that Erica seemed shaken. Family members reportedly questioned her choices. And Safaree? His silence spoke volumes, leaving fans to wonder if he felt vindicated, or if this drama cut deeper than anyone realized. One reveal, one viral clip, one moment that flipped the narrative overnight. What really happened behind that footage? Why did Erica's confident new beginning suddenly feel so fragile? And could this shocking turn of events force her to confront feelings she swore were long gone? Buckle up, because this story is only just getting started, and nothing about it is as simple as it seems. The morning after the so-called reveal did not feel like a celebration. It felt like the calm before something ugly. Mena woke up to a phone that would not stop vibrating, notifications stacking so fast they blurred together, her name trending in places she hadn't checked in years. At first, she thought it was the usual noise, fans dissecting her relationship choices, bloggers twisting captions into think pieces. But then she saw the messages from people who never texted this early, the ones that only reached out when something was very wrong. Are you okay? Have you seen the video? Call me ASAP. Her chest tightened before she even opened anything, instinctively knowing that whatever was waiting on her screen was not going to be kind. By the time she clicked the link that everyone was sending, it was already everywhere. Reposted, slowed down, zoomed in, narrated by voices she didn't recognize but somehow felt personal. Flashing lights, a shaky angle, someone yelling off camera, and then that moment, the one that made her stomach drop, when the narrator claimed this was her new boyfriend, the man she had just shown the world as proof she was healed, allegedly being detained. Allegedly being arrested, allegedly embarrassing her in the worst way possible. None of it confirmed, all of it loud. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and Erica could almost hear the internet laughing, waiting for her to react. She threw the phone onto the couch like it burned her, pacing the room with her hands shaking. This was not how it was supposed to go. The reveal was meant to be controlled, calculated, a statement. She had told herself she deserved happiness, that moving on publicly was part of reclaiming her narrative. After everything with Safaree, after the screaming matches, the tears, the court documents, the endless commentary about her temper and his ego, she wanted to show strength. Instead, she was watching that strength get questioned in real time by millions of strangers who felt entitled to her pain. Memories she tried to bury crept back in as she paced. Nights when cameras followed her down hallways as she cried. Mornings when she swore she was done, only to answer his call hours later. The divorce from Safaree was supposed to be final, a line drawn in permanent ink. She had told friends she would never regret it, told fans she chose herself. But now, with this chaos swirling around her new relationship, doubt whispered in her ear. Not loud enough to admit out loud, but loud enough to hurt. Her phone buzzed again, this time with a call she hesitated to answer. It was her mother. Erica closed her eyes before picking up, already bracing herself. "Mija," her mother said softly, concern heavy in her voice, "what is going on?" "People are calling me, asking questions." Erica swallowed hard, forcing calm into her tone. "It's nothing," she lied, the word tasting bitter. "People online exaggerate everything." But even as she said it, she knew exaggeration wasn't the problem. Perception was. Once the internet decided a story, facts became optional. Across town, sources claimed Safaree was seeing the same clips. Some said he laughed it off, shaking his head like he always knew this would happen. Others whispered that he went quiet, unusually quiet, staring at his phone longer than usual. Friends close to him allegedly noticed a shift, like something old had been stirred up. This wasn't about jealousy, they said, it was about history. About watching someone you once loved repeat patterns you both swore were toxic. Fans immediately began tagging him under the videos, writing comments like, "You dodged a bullet," and "She should have stayed with you." Whether he responded or not, the narrative was being written without his consent. Back in Erica's living room, her new boyfriend finally called. His voice was tense, defensive, insisting the footage was being taken out of context. "Nothing happened," he said quickly. "They're making it bigger than it is." Erica listened, silent, gripping the phone so tight her knuckles turned white. She wanted to believe him. She needed to believe him. But the problem wasn't just what happened, it was how it looked. How fast it spread, how easily her name got dragged into it. When she finally spoke, her voice was low. "Do you understand what this does to me?" There was a pause on the other end, long enough to make her heart sink. "I didn't ask for this," he replied. And just like that, the conversation shifted from reassurance to blame. As the day went on, more voices entered the chaos. Friends texted advice that contradicted each other. "Ignore it. Address it now. Delete everything. Stand your ground." Bloggers uploaded reaction videos dissecting her body language from the reveal, claiming they saw this coming. Fans were split down the middle. Some defended her fiercely, saying she deserved love and privacy. Others were ruthless, accusing her of poor judgment, dragging up every past argument with Safaree as proof she never learned. The family was left divided too, with some relatives urging her to step back from social media, while others believed silence would only make her look guilty. Late that night, alone in her bedroom, Erica replayed moments from her marriage she hadn't thought about in months. The way Safaree used to grab her hand under the table when things got overwhelming. The way arguments could explode but somehow still end in laughter on good days. She hated herself for even thinking about it. She reminded herself why she left. The disrespect, the public humiliation, the feeling of being unheard. But regret is rarely logical. It sneaks in quietly, dressed as reflection, asking questions you don't want to answer. Meanwhile, the footage kept evolving online. Slowed down versions, alleged eyewitness accounts in comment sections. Anonymous sources claiming more drama was coming. Nothing confirmed, everything amplified. Erica's team debated releasing a statement, but every draft felt wrong. Deny it too strongly, and people assume you're lying. Stay quiet, and they assume the worst. She scrolled through comments until her eyes burned, stopping on one that hit too close to home. She left a stable mess for a public disaster. She slammed the phone down, tears finally spilling over. The next morning brought no relief. Instead, it brought new clips, new rumors, and a headline suggesting Erica was rethinking everything. She hadn't said that, not to anyone, but somehow it felt true. She sat at the kitchen table, untouched coffee growing cold, staring at nothing. Was this what moving on was supposed to feel like? Chaos, embarrassment, strangers dissecting your choices like entertainment? For the first time since the divorce, she wondered if peace had been closer than she realized, if she traded one kind of pain for another. When her new boyfriend showed up unannounced later that day, emotions ran high instantly. He paced the room, frustrated, blaming the internet, the cops, the bloggers, everyone but himself. Erica watched him, noticing things she hadn't before. The way he avoided her eyes. The way he dismissed her fears. Finally, she snapped. "This is my life you're playing with," she shouted, years of bottled emotion pouring out. He fired back, accusing her of caring too much about public opinion. Voices rose, words cut deep, and in that heated argument, something cracked. Erica felt it clearly. The realization that this relationship, the one she revealed so confidently, might not be built to survive pressure. As he walked out, slamming the door behind him, Erica sank onto the couch, shaking. The room felt too quiet after all the noise. Her phone buzzed again, this time with a message she didn't expect. It was from Safaree. Just a few words. "Hope you're good. No emojis. No shade. Just concern, or maybe closure, or maybe nothing at all. She stared at the screen for a long time, heart pounding, unsure what scared her more, the drama unfolding around her, or the fact that one simple message from her past could still make her feel so much. Erica did not reply to the message right away. She locked her phone and set it face down, like that would somehow quiet the thoughts racing through her head. The room still smelled faintly like his cologne, a reminder that the argument wasn't just emotional, it was physical, present, real. She wrapped her arms around herself, rocking slightly as if she could soothe the chaos from the inside out. Fans were shocked, but none of them could feel this weight pressing on her chest. Emotions ran high online, but here, in this quiet space, everything felt heavier. Outside her walls, the story had already taken on a life of its own. Reaction videos multiplied by the hour, faces frozen in exaggerated shock as commentators claimed Erica's perfect revenge glow-up had officially imploded. Some swore the arrest footage proved she had terrible taste in men. Others argued it was proof she moved on before healing. Every theory sounded confident, every opinion absolute, and none of them asked how she actually felt. The internet didn't want truth, it wanted drama, and Erica's pain was premium content. Her sister stopped by that evening, letting herself in without knocking the way family always does when they sense something is wrong. She found Erica sitting in the dark, television off, phone ignored. "You can't let this eat you alive," she said gently, sitting beside her. Erica laughed bitterly. Too late. They talked for hours, going over every detail, every red flag, every moment. Erica brushed aside doubt because she wanted to prove something. "Prove to who?" her sister asked. Erica didn't answer, because the truth scared her. Maybe she was trying to prove to Safaree that she didn't need him. Maybe she was trying to prove to fans that she wasn't broken. Maybe she was trying to prove to herself that walking away hadn't left a hole she didn't know how to fill. Meanwhile, Safaree's name continued trending alongside hers, their past dragged into the present like unfinished business. Fans dissected old clips from their marriage, slowing down arguments, reading lips, analyzing tone. "Look how calm he is here. Look how angry she is." Narratives were rewritten in real time, villains and victims swapped depending on who was tweeting. The family was left divided again, with some defending Erica fiercely and others quietly admitting they always feared this exact outcome. No one reached out publicly, but behind the scenes, conversations were happening, opinions being shared, sides being chosen. Late that night, Erica finally unlocked her phone and reread Safaree's message. "Hope you're good." It was so simple it hurt. She typed a response, deleted it, typed again, deleted again. She didn't want comfort from him. She didn't want judgment either. But part of her wondered if he saw this coming, if he felt some twisted sense of relief that he wasn't the one being dragged this time. Eventually, she locked the phone again without replying, telling herself silence was safer. The next morning brought a new twist. A blogger claimed to have exclusive information, alleging the arrest footage was only the beginning. According to unnamed sources, Erica's boyfriend had a history she didn't fully know about. The comments erupted instantly. Fans were shocked all over again. Emotions ran even higher. "She never learns. This is embarrassing. Safaree would never." Erica's team scrambled, phones ringing non-stop, trying to figure out how much damage control was even possible at this point. Every attempt to slow the narrative seemed to pour gasoline on it instead. Erica tried to focus on her kids, grounding herself in routine. School drop-offs, homework, dinner. But even there, the outside world crept in. A sideways glance from another parent. A whispered conversation that stopped when she walked by. She felt exposed, judged, like her private life was a public lesson everyone felt entitled to comment on. When she finally sat alone in her car, she broke down, sobbing so hard she had to pull over. "I just wanted peace," she whispered to herself, hands shaking on the steering wheel. That afternoon, her boyfriend called again. This time, his tone was different, less defensive, more desperate. He claimed he was being set up, that the footage didn't show the full story, that Erica needed to stand by him publicly. The words hit her like ice water. Stand by him. After everything she had just been through, after years of being told she was too loud, too emotional, too much, he was asking her to absorb the fallout of his mess. "I can't do this," she said quietly. He snapped back, accusing her of abandoning him when things got hard. The irony wasn't lost on her. Wasn't that exactly what people accused her of doing to Safaree? When the call ended, Erica sat in silence, staring at the wall as a painful clarity settled in. This wasn't love. This was chaos dressed up as excitement. The thrill of moving on had blinded her to the warning signs, and now she was paying for it publicly. Regret curled in her stomach again, stronger this time. Not regret for leaving Safaree exactly, but regret for how she left, how angry, how unfinished it all was. That evening, a mutual friend reached out, someone who still spoke to both Erica and Safaree. "He's worried about you," the message read. Erica scoffed at first, but the words lingered. Worried, not smug, not gloating, worried. It challenged the version of him she had clung to during the divorce, the version that made leaving easier. People are never just one thing, and neither was their marriage. Admitting that felt like reopening a wound she thought had finally closed. Online, fans continued to choose sides. Some demanded Erica apologize for dragging Safaree through the mud when she left. Others insisted this new drama had nothing to do with him and everything to do with misogyny and double standards. Live streams ran for hours, voices overlapping, opinions clashing, all fueled by speculation. Erica watched one late at night, curled up in bed, listening as strangers debated her life like a scripted show. She regrets the divorce, one voice said confidently. Erica whispered back to the screen, "You don't know me." But a small, traitorous part of her wondered if they were partly right. The pressure finally broke her silence. She posted a vague message, not addressing the footage directly, but hinting at betrayal and lessons learned. Within seconds, it was dissected line by line. Who was it about? The boyfriend? Safaree? Herself? Fans read what they wanted into it, and the speculation only intensified. Her boyfriend texted angrily, accusing her of throwing him under the bus. Erica didn't respond. She felt numb, emotionally exhausted, like she had nothing left to explain. In the quiet moments between notifications, Erica thought about what she really wanted. Not what fans expected, not what would look strong online, but what would actually bring her peace. The answer scared her, because it wasn't dramatic or loud. It was slow. It was boring. It was healing she hadn't allowed herself time for. And it meant accepting that some choices, even necessary ones, come with grief. As midnight passed, Erica finally replied to Safaree. Just 3 words. "I'm trying to." She didn't know what it meant yet. Maybe nothing. Maybe everything. She put the phone down and closed her eyes, knowing the storm wasn't over, but sensing that the next chapter would force her to confront truths she had avoided for far too long. Sleep didn't come easily that night. Erica lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying everything in her head like a broken reel. Every word from the argument, every comment she read, every choice she made since the divorce felt heavier in the dark. When morning finally came, it brought another wave of chaos with it. Her phone buzzed non-stop before she even sat up, alerts piling on top of each other. Bloggers were claiming she had secretly reached out to Safaree. Others insisted the relationship with her boyfriend was already over. None of it confirmed, all of it loud. She scrolled slowly, almost numb now, absorbing the damage. Fans were shocked by how fast the narrative shifted. Just days ago, she was being praised for moving on strong. Now she was being pitied, mocked, analyzed. Emotions ran high in every comment section. She looks tired. This is karma. She deserves better. The contradictions didn't surprise her anymore. The internet had never been consistent with her, only hungry. Her boyfriend texted again, paragraphs this time. Apologies mixed with excuses, promises mixed with blame. He said he felt attacked. He said he needed her support. Erica read it all without replying, feeling a strange calm settle in. Something inside her had shifted overnight. The fear was still there, but the confusion wasn't as loud. She could see the pattern now, clear as day. Chaos followed him, and she had stepped right into it, thinking she could handle the noise better this time. By mid-morning, another clip surfaced. Shorter, sharper, allegedly from the same incident, but edited in a way that made things look even worse. Fans were shocked all over again. Reaction channels went live immediately, voices overlapping as they speculated on what really happened. Erica's name trended harder than before. Her kids' names started popping up in comments, and that's when something in her snapped. This wasn't just about her reputation anymore. This was about protecting her family. She called her lawyer, then her publicist, then her mother. Each conversation drained her further, but also grounded her. The advice was clear, even if it wasn't easy. Distance. Silence. Boundaries. Erica had always lived loudly, emotionally, reacting in the moment. This time, she needed to do the opposite. It felt unnatural, like holding her breath underwater, but she knew reacting impulsively would only feed the fire. Across the city, Safaree was dealing with his own storm. Fans wouldn't stop tagging him, demanding commentary, begging for a reaction. Some wanted him to drag Erica. Others wanted him to save her. He didn't do either. Friends noticed he seemed distracted, quieter than usual. One close friend reportedly asked him if he felt vindicated. He shook his head and said, "It's just sad." That answer surprised even him. He thought he'd moved on completely, but watching Erica spiral publicly stirred emotions he hadn't fully processed. The past has a way of resurfacing when you least expect it. Safaree found himself thinking about moments from their marriage he hadn't revisited in years. The good ones, the bad ones, the ones he wished he'd handled differently. He remembered the pressure of being married in the public eye, the way every argument became content, every reconciliation a storyline. He wondered if either of them ever really healed, or if they just learned how to perform strength better. Back in Erica's world, the tension finally reached a breaking point. Her boyfriend showed up again, uninvited, anger simmering beneath forced calm. He accused her of abandoning him when he needed her most. Erica stood her ground, voice steady but firm. "I didn't sign up to clean up messes I didn't make," she said. The words surprised even her. They sounded mature, final. He scoffed, calling her cold, saying she cared more about optics than loyalty. That accusation cut deep, because for years, that's exactly what people accused her of in her marriage. The argument escalated quickly. Voices rose. Old insecurities were thrown like weapons. He brought up Safaree, accusing her of still being emotionally tied to him. Erica didn't deny it right away, and that silence spoke volumes. Finally, she said it out loud, the truth she'd been avoiding. "I'm tied to my healing, not my past." The room went quiet. He stared at her like he didn't recognize her anymore. Maybe he didn't. The version of Erica willing to tolerate chaos just to prove a point was slipping away. When he left, it felt different than before. Not explosive, not dramatic, just done. Erica locked the door behind him and leaned against it, breathing deeply. No tears this time, just exhaustion and clarity. She knew the internet wouldn't see it this way. They'd call it another failed relationship, another messy chapter. But for her, it felt like choosing herself in a way she never had before. Online, the reaction was immediate and brutal. Fans were shocked by rumors of a breakup. Emotions ran high as people debated whether Erica had been wrong to walk away so fast. Some applauded her for setting boundaries. Others mocked her for another L. The family was left divided again, group chats buzzing with opinions she didn't ask for. Erica muted everything she could, focusing inward for the first time in days. That night, she sat alone with a glass of wine, reflecting honestly. Regret still lingered, but it had changed shape. It wasn't about missing Safaree the person. It was about missing the illusion of stability, the idea of a shared history that didn't need explaining. She wondered if she'd ever properly grieved the marriage, or if she'd rushed into reinvention to avoid the pain. The answer was uncomfortable, but necessary. Another message from Safaree came through. This one longer. He said he hoped she was taking care of herself. He said the internet was cruel and didn't deserve access to her healing. He didn't mention the boyfriend. He didn't mention the past. Just concern. Erica read it slowly, feeling tears well up despite herself. Not because she wanted him back, but because the familiarity felt safe in a moment where everything else felt unstable. She replied honestly this time. Not defensively, not dramatically, just honestly. "This has been hard. I'm trying to do better." The exchange ended there, but it left her feeling strangely lighter, like acknowledging the pain out loud released some of its grip. She didn't know what this meant for them long term. Maybe nothing. Maybe closure. Maybe a conversation they never finished. As days passed, the frenzy slowly began to shift. A new scandal took over timelines. Attention moved elsewhere, as it always does. But the impact on Erica lingered. She stayed quiet, off social media, focusing on therapy, on her kids, on rebuilding her sense of self away from commentary. Fans noticed the silence and speculated endlessly. She's heartbroken. She's embarrassed. She's plotting a comeback. None of them were entirely wrong, but none of them fully right either. In private moments, Erica confronted the question she'd been avoiding since the footage surfaced. Did she regret the divorce? The answer wasn't simple. She didn't regret leaving pain. She didn't regret choosing herself. But she did regret not healing fully before moving on. She regretted letting public perception rush her process. And she regretted thinking freedom meant noise instead of peace. The story wasn't over. Not for her, not for Safaree, not for the internet that fed on their history. But something had changed fundamentally. The chaos that once defined her narrative was losing its grip. And as Erica looked ahead, uncertain but more self-aware than ever, she knew the next chapters would demand honesty she could no longer run from. The quiet didn't last long. It never does. Just when Erica started to feel like she could breathe again, another wave hit. This time it wasn't a video. It was words. A leaked DM, allegedly from her now ex-boyfriend, circulating online like wildfire. Screenshots with blurred names, dramatic captions claiming betrayal, abandonment, and secrets. Fans were shocked all over again, emotions ran high as people debated whether the messages were real or manufactured. Erica stared at the screenshots in disbelief, her hands trembling. Some of the words sounded like him. Others felt exaggerated, twisted to hurt. But perception didn't care about nuance. Damage was already done. Her phone rang non-stop. Friends asking if it was true. Family members panicking. Her publicist urging restraint. Do not react, they kept saying. This is exactly what he wants. Erica nodded along, but inside, anger bubbled up. She had stayed quiet. She had walked away calmly. And still, chaos chased her. It felt unfair, but fairness had never been part of her story. The comments were ruthless. Fans dissected the alleged messages line by line, reading between words, assigning motives. She used him. He exposed her. This proves she still loves Safaree. That last one stung the most, not because it was entirely false, but because it oversimplified something deeply complicated. Love doesn't disappear just because a marriage ends. It changes shape, lingers, fades unevenly. Erica had never claimed otherwise, but the internet demanded clean narratives, not emotional truth. That evening, Erica finally broke her silence in a way no one expected. Not with a post, not with a video, but with absence. She logged out completely. No stories, no tweets, no likes, just gone. Fans were shocked by the sudden disappearance, emotions ran high as theories exploded. She's spiraling. She's negotiating a deal. She's embarrassed. None of them knew she was sitting on her bedroom floor, talking through tears with her therapist, unpacking years of unprocessed trauma. For the first time, Erica admitted something out loud she had always avoided. I don't trust myself in relationships. The words felt heavy, but honest. She talked about growing up fast, about learning to fight instead of communicate, about confusing intensity with love. She talked about Safaree, about how their chemistry was explosive but their wounds were deeper. She talked about the new relationship, about how being chosen felt validating, even if it wasn't healthy. Saying it all out loud felt like peeling off armor she didn't realize she was wearing. Meanwhile, Safaree found himself dragged deeper into the storm despite staying silent. A blogger claimed he had been secretly coaching Erica through the breakup. Another insisted they were planning a reunion. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and suddenly his silence was being interpreted as strategy. He finally addressed it privately with friends, admitting he hated seeing Erica hurt, but didn't want to be part of the spectacle. We already lived that life, he said. I don't want to go back. Still, he couldn't deny the pull of familiarity. He remembered moments when Erica was at her softest, the version the cameras rarely captured. He wondered if he had failed her as much as she failed him. The thought lingered longer than he expected, unsettling him. Days later, the ex-boyfriend escalated things again, going live unexpectedly, his face tense, voice shaking with emotion. He claimed Erica had played victim, accused her of abandoning him when things got tough, hinted at secrets he wasn't ready to expose yet. Fans flooded the live, comments flying faster than he could speak. Erica didn't watch it, but clips found her anyway, sent by people who thought they were being helpful. Each one felt like another cut. This time, Erica didn't cry. She felt numb, detached, like she was watching someone else's life unravel. The family was left divided once more, some urging her to defend herself publicly, others begging her to stay silent for her own mental health. Erica chose herself, something she was only just learning how to do. She turned off her phone and spent the day with her kids, laughing, cooking, grounding herself in reality instead of rumor. But silence has consequences too. The longer Erica stayed quiet, the more the narrative filled the space. Fans were shocked by the lack of response, emotions ran high as people assumed guilt, regret, shame. She knows she messed up. She regrets everything now. She should have stayed with Safaree. That last sentence followed her everywhere, echoing louder with each passing day. One evening, unable to sleep, Erica finally confronted the question head-on, not for the internet, not for fans, but for herself. Did she regret the divorce? She thought about the screaming matches, the tears, the feeling of being unseen. She thought about the love, the laughter, the shared history. Regret wasn't the right word. Grief was. Grief for what could have been, grief for what never had a chance to heal properly. Realizing that didn't mean she wanted to go back. It meant she needed to forgive herself for leaving the way she did. She reached out to Safaree again, this time asking if they could talk, not to reconcile, but to clear the air. The conversation was awkward at first, cautious. Old wounds don't disappear just because time passes. But slowly, honesty crept in. They acknowledged their faults without defending them. They admitted they hurt each other deeply. There were tears, there was silence, and there was something Erica hadn't felt in a long time, closure that didn't come from drama. Word of the conversation leaked, of course. Nothing stays private for long. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, speculation exploded. They're getting back together. This is fake growth. It won't last. Erica ignored it all. For once, she wasn't living for the reaction. The ex-boyfriend's presence faded as quickly as it had arrived. New rumors replaced old ones. Attention shifted, but the impact of the ordeal stayed with Erica. She moved differently now, quieter, more intentional. She understood that healing wasn't linear, and that rushing to prove happiness often masks deeper wounds. As weeks passed, Erica slowly returned online, cautiously. Her posts were different, less performative, more reflective. Fans noticed the change immediately. Some applauded her growth, others missed the chaos. Emotions ran high as always, but Erica felt steadier, less reactive. She had learned, painfully, that not every chapter needs an audience. Still, unresolved questions lingered. About love, about trust, about whether she would ever feel safe enough to love without fear of spectacle. The story wasn't finished, not yet, but Erica was no longer running from the discomfort. She was sitting with it, learning from it, letting it reshape her. And somewhere beneath the noise, beneath the headlines and hashtags, a quieter truth settled in. Moving on wasn't about proving anything to anyone. It was about choosing peace, even when the world expected a show. The internet, however, wasn't ready to let the story die. Just when Erica thought the noise was finally fading into the background, a new angle emerged that reignited everything. This time, it came from fans themselves. Side-by-side clips began circulating, comparing Erica's recent interviews to old footage from her marriage. Pauses were analyzed, facial expressions were slowed down, tone shifts were exaggerated. Fans were shocked as amateur detectives claimed they could see the regret written all over her face. Emotions ran high as people argued over whether she looked sad, relieved, or secretly longing for the past. Erica saw it all eventually. Even when you try to look away, the algorithm has a way of finding you. The comments hurt less than before, but they still stung. She misses him. She fumbled. Divorce wasn't worth it. Strangers spoke with certainty about feelings she was still trying to untangle herself. The family was left divided again, some urging her to clap back and set the record straight, others reminding her how far she'd come by not reacting. One afternoon, while scrolling aimlessly, Erica stumbled across an old clip she hadn't seen in years. It was from early in her marriage, before the resentment, before the public blow-ups. She and Safaree were laughing, teasing each other, relaxed in a way that felt foreign now. Her chest tightened, not because she wanted that exact moment back, but because she remembered who she was in it. Softer, hopeful, unguarded, she realized she missed that version of herself more than she missed him. At the same time, Safaree was navigating his own internal shift. Being dragged back into the spotlight against his will forced him to reflect in ways he hadn't planned. He noticed how differently fans treated him now compared to during the marriage. Where he was once criticized, he was now praised. Where Erica was once defended, she was now scrutinized. The imbalance didn't sit right with him. He knew he wasn't blameless, no matter how the narrative tried to rewrite history. A private conversation between them resurfaced in his mind, one they'd had near the end of their marriage. Erica had said, "I just want to feel safe with you." At the time, he didn't fully understand what she meant. Now, watching her weather another public storm, he finally did. Safety wasn't about love alone. It was about consistency, accountability, and peace. Things neither of them had mastered back then. Another unexpected twist came when a former friend of Erica's ex-boyfriend spoke out online, claiming Erica had been warned early on. Screenshots, voice notes, vague accusations filled timelines again. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the blame game restarted. Some accused Erica of ignoring red flags. Others questioned why women are expected to foresee chaos while men are excused for causing it. Erica watched the debate from a distance, choosing not to insert herself into another cycle of defense. This time, her silence felt intentional, not defeated. She knew the truth of her experience, and that was enough. Therapy had taught her that explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you only drains your energy. She focused instead on rebuilding trust with herself, something she realized had been eroded long before the divorce. The family dynamics slowly stabilized, though tension lingered beneath the surface. Dinners were quieter, conversations more careful. Everyone had opinions, but fewer felt the need to voice them. Erica appreciated that more than she could say. She needed space to exist without being analyzed, even by people who loved her. Fans noticed a shift in her presence when she finally returned more consistently online. No cryptic captions, no bait, just moments of real life. A coffee in the morning, a workout clip, a quiet smile. Some fans were disappointed, craving drama. Others felt proud, claiming they could see growth. Emotions ran high, as always, but the volume felt lower now, less consuming. Still, the question hovered over everything like a shadow. Regret, not the loud, dramatic kind, but the quiet, reflective kind. Erica admitted to herself that regret and acceptance can coexist. She didn't regret choosing herself. She did regret how unhealed she was when she tried to prove she was okay. She regretted letting the world rush her timeline. Acknowledging that didn't mean going backward. It meant learning. One night, during a rare moment of calm, Erica received a final message from Safaree. Not emotional, not nostalgic, just respectful. He said he was glad they could speak honestly, that he wished her peace, genuinely. She read it twice, then replied with a simple thank you. No promises, no expectations, just closure. It felt like closing a door gently instead of slamming it shut. The internet would always speculate. Fans would always choose sides. Emotions would always run high when her name trended. But Erica was no longer living for the narrative. She had survived the backlash, the embarrassment, the public unraveling of something she hoped would be a fresh start. And in the aftermath, she found something quieter but more valuable than validation. Clarity. She didn't know what love would look like for her in the future. She didn't know if she'd ever trust herself the way she wanted to. But she knew one thing for sure. Moving on wasn't about erasing the past or proving strength through spectacle. It was about facing the mess honestly and choosing not to repeat it. And as the noise slowly faded into the background hum of the internet, Erica stepped forward into the next chapter with open eyes, knowing the world would watch, judge, and speculate. But for the first time in a long time, she wasn't performing for them. She was finally listening to herself. And now the question turns to you. After everything you've just heard, after every twist, every emotional breakdown, every moment of regret, reflection, and growth, what do you really think Erica Mena is going through right now? Is this the painful but necessary fallout of choosing herself, or is this proof that some chapters are never fully closed, no matter how hard you try to move on? Fans are still shocked, emotions are still running high, and the internet is still divided right down the middle. Do you believe Erica truly regrets divorcing Safaree, or do you think she only regrets how fast she tried to prove she was okay? Was the boyfriend reveal a genuine attempt at happiness that simply backfired, or was it a rushed move fueled by pressure, pride, and the need to silence critics? And what about the arrest footage that set everything off? Was it bad luck, bad judgment, or a warning sign she ignored? This story isn't just about headlines or viral clips. It's about how public breakups, public healing, and public mistakes can blur the line between growth and performance. It's about how easy it is for fans to rewrite history once a new scandal appears. One minute you're applauded for leaving. The next, you're criticized for not staying. The family was left divided, fans picked sides, and suddenly a very human situation turned into entertainment for millions. But here's the real question you have to ask yourself. If you were in her position, would you have done anything differently? Would you have stayed silent, or spoken out? Would you have taken more time to heal, or would you have also tried to move forward boldly, even if it meant risking public embarrassment? It's easy to judge from the outside, but living it is something else entirely. And what about Safaree? Do you think his quiet presence in the background says more than words ever could? Was his concern genuine, or is it just unfinished business resurfacing at the worst possible time? Do you believe closure between exes is real, or do you think some connections never truly disappear? Now it's your turn to weigh in. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us honestly what side you're on, or if you think there are no sides at all. Do you think Erica is growing, or repeating patterns? Do you think this chapter will push her toward real healing, or are we about to see another dramatic twist unfold? Your voice matters here, and we want to hear every perspective. If you made it this far, make sure you hit that like button, because stories like this deserve to be talked about. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what happens next, because if history has taught us anything, it's that this story is far from over. Turn on notifications so you're always first when the next update drops, the next reveal surfaces, or the next shocking clip sends the internet into another frenzy. And remember, today it's Erica Mena under the microscope, but tomorrow it could be anyone. Fame magnifies everything, especially mistakes, and healing in public is never as clean as it looks on social media. Stay locked in with us, stay engaged, and keep the conversation going. Because the drama doesn't end when the cameras stop rolling. It just waits for the next moment to explode.